Hey, what's up, friends? Thanks for tuning into Real Estate and Shit, where we go over a bunch of real estate topics, including national, local topics, as well as different things happening in our community, which is the shit part. But in all reality, we just tried to keep your attention with current matters and good content. So thanks for tuning in. First and foremost, be sure to subscribe to the channel below and like and comment. And whether you leave good or bad comments, we don't care. We still love you. But yeah, thanks for tuning in today. We have our normal guest. This is episode Dos Amigos. And we have Chris and Sadie as our guests per usual. Say hi, guys. How you guys doing?
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Was that an accent? Is that like a New York accent? How are you?
How are you?
We're doing wonderful. How are you, Sadie?
I'm great. I'm heavily caffeinated, and I'm swagged out.
And you have a new mic.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a half a mic.
No, I like it. I'm controlling. I like the control of things, so this is working out really well for
It
me.
actually allows you to kind of sit back on the couch and not have to sit forward if you think about it.
I like it.
Maybe eventually when we get this turns into a national podcast and we have millions of viewers, that we'll get the ones that can wrap around you and kind of meet you at your face and you can kind of control it.
I'd like a little Britney Spears action. If I just have a headset.
So a pink headset?
So I can dance, during the
That'd
podcast.
be kind of cool. A pink headset for
Yeah,
Sadie.
Something fuzzy, maybe.
If you work for Rode out there and you're watching this, pink headsets.
Yep.
So, guys, this is our second podcast, Real Estate and Shit. We have a lot of articles to kind of talk with you guys about, just some really quick things to cover. It's nuts. Before we get into hyper local market conditions, I want to go over a quick article that I read. Do you guys know who Adam Newman is?
The name is very familiar.
Adam Newman is the creator of WeWork.
Oh.
And I don't know if you know his story from WeWork, but he did commercial rentals, subleasing in New York City, created this company, got the largest check written from the guy from Japan for $3 billion. The company was valued at $74 billion the day it went public. And the day after it went public, it was worth $22 million. Think about that.
Yeah, he's a schemer.
Well, he just announced a new business. This guy named Andreessen Horowitz announces a plan to invest in Adam Newman's new residential real estate company.
Here we go.
So he's trying to jump into our industry. So we're going to dig into this in a little bit. But before we get into that, let's get into our hyper-local current market. So, guys, I'm glad you guys are joining us. If you guys don't know where we're located in Claremont, California. We cover the entire Southland Empire, or the entire... Well, that was a terrible thing to say. You're going to have to edit that one out. But, yeah, we cover the entire Southland, all the way from Los Angeles to the Inland Empire, all the way to Orange County. And we service buyers and sellers in that area, residential. And we wanted to give you guys some current local facts of what's going on in the market, because as we go over and as you watched last week, there are just numerous articles and headlines about the market crashing and everything's going south. We're in a recession, this, that, and the other. So I thought what better than to actually get the data to show you guys exactly where we're at. These are the monthly indicators. This actually comes from the Citrus Valley Realtor, so it's our actual MLS board that we're associated with. So I actually have June and July, and we have the monthly numbers. So, guys, I'm gonna get right into it if you guys don't mind. So we're gonna start. Let's just start with July, because we're now in August. So this is last month. These are the numbers that we're going through. So, it's very interesting. So it shows you July from 2021 to 2022, year over year. Well, I'm going to give you guys this one. New listings year over year were negative 17%. It's very interesting. So as a negative 17% change. Pending sales. Wow, in 2021, there's 1,000 pending sales in July. In 2022, we're at 583 pending sales.
Ouch.
That's negative 43% in a month. Wow. Closed sales, 2021, July, 1,000 again, so it remained on par. Closed sales this year, 2022, 671, which is negative 38%. This trend's not looking good. Days on market until sell. Obviously, things are just working with each other. 2021, 13 days in the market until it's sold. This year, we're already approaching 19, which is a 46% increase. So it's taking longer for homes on the market to sell. And we're going to cover that a little bit later and why homes are sitting longer. Mostly because of price and mostly because of condition. feel like buyers can just, they can maneuver these days. Medium sales price, believe it or not, that went up 9%. So seeing that go up 9% is telling me value is rising. So that's always good for anyone who's out there looking to buy and is currently buying, like myself. Average sales price, that went up 9% from 661 to 723 year over year. That's another 10% increase. So, it's funny, all this doom and gloom on the prior numbers on pending sales and new listings and closed deals. But if you look at the value and the home sales price, things are still increasing. So that's very positive. What do you guys think about that?
I think the biggest takeaway is that homes are you're still adding value to homes, even though there's less homes. No, there's more homes on the market.
Yeah.
Right. And we're seeing buyers not as willing to buy, or houses sitting on the market longer. You're still seeing the home value increase. So that whole, like last week we were talking about millennials and being like, the bubble, blah, blah. There's no bubble. It's just leveling out. We've been talking about the last couple of months. You've been saying that everything's leveling out.
It's true.
And it's coming back to just a normal market. I don't know what it was like before. For me, it was like every house that we put up, gone, up, gone. But now we have time to
days.
actually, not even, like we get to the open house and I'm like, why did I even make all this marketing material when it's gone? So now we actually have time to market, at least from my perspective, market all these houses and do all this extra work for our clients.
You're right. And, based off what you just said, it's actually a 20% increase of inventory this year over last year. So, yeah, you're right. There's definitely an increase happening. But, Chris, I'm looking at this. It's the Housing Affordability Index. So, in 2021, it was a 76. This year, it's a 52. It's a 31% decrease. How do you reading these numbers, like, what story does this tell you?
Well, obviously, when you're a buyer and you're shopping certain brackets of inventory, and you're out there excited, you're in the trenches shopping, and in the past, that was a longer period of time because with no inventory and so much competition, some families have been shopping for over a year. And then that affordability, equation changes on you, and you're shopping from say 800 to 900, and now with interest rates increased, now you're in a different lower price point. You're not quite as excited about the inventory any longer, I think. And I think that's a lot of what the shock and the digestion that buyers are going through right now is trying to regroup, re-identify, their price parameters, their comfort zone, and what the inventory looks like in those parameters, and how are we going to proceed? Are we going to wait and see what interest rates do? Are we going to wait and see if property values come down to complement that so we can get back up in that home that we were shopping for this to even make sense, or for us to be excited about making that purchase?
You're completely correct. It's funny. People are still buying. Who's buying?
Yeah, people are still buying. I keep saying it over and over again, but I feel like it's a perfect storm for contingent buyers.
I agree.
We've talked about it, and we can continue to talk about it. That seller that can't afford to lose equity on their home, they need to maintain that net proceeds to leverage towards a replacement home.
Agreed.
And it's an exciting time for that because now they have a chance of getting their offer accepted.
Okay.
But as property values decrease, so does their net proceeds, and so does the amount of money they can apply to their purchase. So the whole equation just goes sideways if they don't do it now, I feel like.
Yeah, it's so funny. I've been in real estate. I've been in the service industry, but it's just very interesting I feel like we work on like Wall Street. Like we play with stocks all day. Like we're like insider traders because what we know in the market is not what the common folk or like the mom and pop or the buyers and sellers out there. It's like we're on two different pages. It's kind of like, I don't know what happens in the stock market. They have their own world that they live in, and like I can, partake through like an E-Trade app, but they're making all the money over there. And I feel like that is like us in real estate in the same type of parallel because we see what's really happening with the market, the conditions, and when I talk to you guys or I'm in, the Tom Ferry ecosystem, and I talk to a lot of real estate agents all the time, my wife and other people that are savvy and who are also investors, and everyone that I know, it's the best time to buy. Everyone that I know is buying right now. Everyone that I know is talking about what a great opportunity this is. Everyone that I know is saying that, oh my gosh, finally the market has calmed. This is a calming time. Most people are thinking like, oh my God, it's a crashing time. No, the market was out of control, like on a different level that we've never experienced before. And for some reason, people thought that was normal. That was never normal. That was always out of control. So what we're experiencing now, we're like,
well, with that being said, the changes have happened so rapidly that it hasn't necessarily, trickled down to the consumer, I don't think.
True.
So that insider trader, environment that we feel that we have right now makes me more excited about talking about this, getting the word out, getting our clients, the edge on information so they can react and they can make decisions comfortably. And
it's almost like we're hedge fund managers. If you think about it, we're trying to give our clients the cutting edge, the knowledge to go and make a better living or a better income or a better investment opportunity for themselves by acting now rather than waiting on the fence and ultimately forfeiting thousands of dollars or not getting the return on thousands of dollars or the value on an asset increasing year over year. So it's very interesting. I feel like as much as we're real estate agents, we're actually like wealth managers, if you kind of think of it like that. And now's, going over all these statistics, they say when there's blood in the streets, buy or something like that. What's the term called? Do you guys know what that term is called?
No.
Let me look it up real quickly. When there is
blood in the streets, I'm
blood
running.
in the streets,
Quote.
I mean, it is time. The time to buy is when there's blood in the streets. That is a huge stock market quote from a 19th century British financier of Rothschild banking, created this saying, Nathan Rothschild. It's a true saying. And when there's blood in the streets, it's a good time to buy. Well, what I'm looking at right here on these monthly indicators, new listings down 20%, pending sales down 43%, closed sales down 38%, days on the market up 46%, median sales price up 9%, which is what we're talking about, the value. Average sales price up 9%, which is the value we're talking about. Housing affordability index down 31%. That means less people can afford to buy, which just means more of an opportunity to go out there and do it because there's less people that are going to be competing with you on these offers. And then to your point, the contingency side of it. I mean, all the writing's on the wall. It's kind of nuts that we're even in this situation, that we're about to go over all these articles that I pulled up over the last week, and we're going to go through these being like, what is going on right now? I mean, what do you guys? I mean, are we all on the same page with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, and it's more important who you hire now than ever.
Oh man, isn't that the truth? Tell me more about that.
Well, that's what I'm excited to showcase. It's like, I mean, showing your house at its best is kind of where we shine here in this office. It's giving that direction to our clients, just not to photograph it and go live. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into doing this the right way, and
oh my gosh,
showing the house at its best, whether it's some touch-ups, some minor repairs, some handyman work. You know how many families I've kicked out of their home to stage their home so the photography is as gorgeous as it can be online, so that online presence just is what we need to do to capture the buyer pool. I mean, it's really important. Like,
it's true.
And now more than ever.
Oh, no.
Because the buyers are so much more picky now.
Agreed.
Like, they're already scared.
They can be picky.
You need them to fall in love.
You do.
If you can't pull those emotional strings, then they're going to move on to the next one that they do fall in love with. So how do we make that home that many families may not fall in love with?
Well, it's kind of what you're doing right now. You're creating that lifestyle with the videos and the pictures for all the listings that you're doing. You know, it's funny, Sadie, I had this weird vision as he's saying it. Like, you know how many families I've kicked out to do I thought of Chris, like, walking in the house. Get out of here. We're staging this. No, yeah, I mean, it's very true. You really need to go above and beyond right now, and you want to work with a true professional who has a track record, because homes aren't selling right now. You have to really do something special. Yeah. It's kind of like the tables have kind of switched, but it's still a perfect storm because the right sellers now get to take the opportunity, as opposed to because they're now turning into buyers, as opposed to 6 months ago they couldn't do this. So,
and it's a slippery slope, you know. I mean, to hire a less talented agent, you know,
to give them a chance. Hey, I'm going to give you a chance.
You're giving up net proceeds.
You are
maybe saving a little money in commission, but.
And just trying to help someone out too, because you know they're new. You know, like anyone knows new agent's a new agent, and you're like, hey, I'm going to give this guy a shot.
Yeah, a new agent without the proper mentorship is a little scary in this environment, you know?
Oh, my God. We went to, Shar was in a panel on Tuesday, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, on Tuesday. And
where's she on a panel? Let everyone know.
She was on a panel in San Dimas. I'm trying to think. It was called Women. I want to say it's called like Women Kicking Ass, but I don't think that's
Women Kick Ass.
Like, that'd be great. But it was like women similar to Shar that kind of dominate real estate in our area and like what they do. And it was for a lot of new realtors to kind of understand how to like stand out.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, there are so many people here that want to be realtors, and they're so young. And like, I mean, I'm young too. It's not like I'm like, oh, they're children, but I'm just like, wow, they all are so hungry to be realtors. So I can't imagine right now being brand spanking new and going, like, they're just doing whatever they can to learn. But there's so much that goes into it. Like, I'm not even a realtor, but on my end, like, I kind of filter everything that's going on with our listings and with our marketing and our flyers and our videos and coordination and having everyone there. There's so many pieces that go into it. You can't just be a lone wolf. Like I do everything on my own. It's just not how it works. And so it was crazy to me. It was crazy to see all those people. It was cool. It was humbling.
It's humbling.
But I was like, wow.
It's sad that there's such a low bar to get into real estate. That's the problem. You just have to fill out an application and send it in with $20.
Yeah.
And I think that's
a test, kind of. Yeah.
What were you going to say, Chris?
I just think that's an important message for newer agents to ensure that they get into, a mentorship program with a SHAR or someone that's
you need to join a team these days.
Has the
agreed.
Yeah,
been saying that for a decade.
You're doing your sellers and your buyers such a disservice by not having that guidance.
Yeah, you can't work with a single agent that doesn't have good support these days. There's just so much to do as an agent these days. It's different. You
don't know what you don't know.
Oh my gosh!
So it's like everybody wants their full paycheck, and it's like
it's so true.
You're gonna spend longer trying to chase.
Oh yeah. 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, any agent you worked with really could have gotten. I mean, there was less risk involved hiring your neighbor or your cousin or your best friend. Now is when there's a higher risk involved, when you could potentially lose tens of thousands of dollars if you don't make the right move the first time correctly.
Yeah.
You get yourself into a lawsuit. You get yourself into a situation where the buyer and the seller are not pleased, and you're in escrow, and all of a sudden, one dispute turns into a $10,000 dispute that you guys can't get out of, and and it happens really easily. I mean, shit. Not only it's real estate and shit, but I mean, we've been dealing with this in our brokerage recently. Not everyone's always happy with what's going on. People are getting cold feet real easily right now, or they're feeling like they're getting cold feet because they don't really know what to do because the market's changing every day.
And you only get one chance to be day one on the market.
No one understands that, Chris.
You don't get to go back from that. That's
no one gets that.
100% of my success is the environment and the perspective I create on day one, or even prior to leading up with the coming soon campaign.
Oh, you're putting weeks of work into it
once
prior.
Once a buyer sees it, they've already seen it. You don't get to go back. Like, I've had success correcting but it's so much more effort, time, and it's just, it never goes the same as it does doing it right the first time.
Agreed. And again, I mean, I know I just said it like 5 times, but why doesn't anybody know this? Yeah. And we always, even in listing presentations, you get one shot, Yeah. After 30 days, your home doesn't sell. We call those red flags. Yeah. You do not want to be in the red flag category. Yeah. And now, more than ever, you have more of a potential to get into that red flag category because there's just a lot more inventory to mess around with. So very interesting. All right. Well, moving on. Let's now that we talked about the local housing market, I hope it gives you guys a good information and good clarity on what's happening around you. If you guys have any questions, please reach out to Chris or myself, and we'll be more than happy to help you guys get anything that you guys need, as well as Sadie. She's one of those powerful women, so she knows what's up. But yeah, I wanted to kind of go back to this Adam Newman story that I don't know why I've been so excited to talk about this story with you guys.
It's because you love that the WeWork documentary.
It's been one of the best documentaries ever on Hulu. WeWork. I suggest anyone watching this watch that documentary. You'll be blown. You're a creator. You're a creator. You're a creator. They look at him like a god. So the fact that this guy, Andreessen Horowitz, headline is announces plans to invest in his residential real estate company. Okay, this isn't even residential real estate. It's actually residential rental real estate. So I feel like he should have said that. But what it is Flows Effectively, a service that landlords can team up with for their properties, somewhat similar to the way an owner of a hotel might contract with a branded hotel chain to operate the property. So it's kind of like you're subleasing out, in my opinion, your building to Flow, and then Flow takes that building from you and subleases it out. So just so you guys know, it's the same thing as WeWork. So WeWork was a commercial version of this. This is a residential version of WeWork. So what they did for WeWork was in New York City, they would take a floor on a high rise, and in that floor, they would subdivide that entire floor to like 400 offices. They stacked the cool. It was beautiful glass, rooms. I would say the offices were like, this room would be like 3 offices. It was all tech startup offices. So you didn't need a lot of work. So this seems very similar to what he did with WeWork. So I don't expect this to go very far, but just it's very interesting real estate news. Would you believe it or not?
Should somebody like maybe just send like the Hulu link to this investment company of the WeWork?
Yeah,
like,
seriously.
Hey, did you watch that? Oh, okay, cool.
It just makes you think there's more to it.
Give me $350 million. You know what I can do more than Adam Newman? I'm sure both of you two as well. Us 3 can team up together for $350 who's the guy who did this? Andreessen, bro. Hit us up. Yeah. We definitely could have used and managed that money much better than you writing a check to this guy.
Or just like $100 million, it would be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna digress. Even you know what? We could probably quadruple with $50 million more than he could with his $350 million. I guarantee it.
I feel like each episode is gonna come up with us being like, just give us the money.
Yeah,
it's just we could do better with
soon
it.
We'll start tagging him.
Real though, like I feel like it's a scheme.
What do you mean?
That they're both in on. I don't know.
I feel like someone's dad is
hiding
involved.
money, taking money, losing money. Boom.
You know what, Chris?
Boom.
You know what? Corruption happens at the highest level, so I wouldn't be surprised if he wrote a $350 million check saying, hey, let this go up another 20x, and then I'll cash out on 20x, something like that. And then when we get 10 other investors in, then we'll wipe clean. So you could be onto something. So moving on, as we do real estate and shit, we're gonna go over multiple real estate topics that we find throughout the week and throughout the month that we feel will be interested to you. Which, so you guys know, I had to subscribe to every single place in the world to allow me to do this. But oh my God, guys, I'm on the LA Times 2 days ago, and this is the headline: Sellers strike? ? Some homeowners back out of slowing housing market. I'm like, what does that even mean? That's like a weird headline. So it says, as the housing market has slowed across Southern California and the country, sellers have had to adjust their expectations. Homes that would have received dozens of offers at the beginning of the year, which we all talked about, get just a few these days, which is normal. Other properties receive none, forcing owners to slash their asking prices and relinquish dreams of record profits.
Oh my God.
You guys hearing that? Did you guys just get that? Relinquish dreams?
The editor, as a former journalist and writer, whoever is the editor of the house section or whatever
for LA Times,
they need to figure that's salacious, and that's just like
very salacious, forcing,
outrageous.
Chris,
you can't say that.
Are you forcing owners to slash their prices to relinquish dreams of record profits?
Well, that's where I feel like pricing is key. You've got to price it properly, and you make an adjustment on that maybe starting list price.
Yeah.
But I still feel like you can achieve a high level of success if you do it the right way.
I completely agree. I think I don't think any owners are forced to slash prices. When you're a seller, you're dictated by the market. We don't control the market. We just put it out to the market, and the market gets to dictate what your home is worth.
Sure.
So no one's forcing you to do anything. You have to react to the market. But I like how it's relinquishing dreams of record profits.
The drama.
That's like saying
so
I could have went to Vegas. If I went to Vegas and I actually would have put it on 23 red instead of 14 black, I would have won $1 million. You know what I mean? Like, it's the funniest. I can't get over it.
And Vegas forced you to come.
And they forced me. They forced me to lose my money. So I thought this was really interesting. Just to continue down, it says what this does. It puts a floor on home values. If people decide not to list their homes. According to real estate agents, reasons vary for the wait-and-see approach. Some owners want to sell only if they can get a certain price. That's now tough in today's slowed market and rising rates. It says others have a mortgage with 3% under interest rate and of the past. And sorry, to correct that one over there, Brian. Says others have a mortgage with a 3% under interest rate of the past and don't want to ditch it and borrow 5% with fears of a recession heightened. There's also hesitation that comes with any economic uncertainty. So, Chris, I'm going to ask you this one very specifically because I think this is another BS type quote, but Others have a mortgage. So sellers have a mortgage at 3%. Fuck me. Sellers have a mortgage at 3% that they bought a home, let's say 3 years ago. They're thinking about selling now, but they're looking at 5% interest rates. And this is saying that with the recession in the forefront of our future, it's creating more fears and hesitation with uncertainty of the market. How does this affect you? Or when you read this or when I read this to you, what does this make you think?
Well, I still feel like, it's a home and a quality of life for many of those, that are aggressively shopping right now.
Yeah.
And again, to leverage that equity to get settled in their forever home or the home that makes sense for them and their current, family situation is really important.
I agree.
And even though the affordability has changed on it, I think they have the confidence that in the future, 2, 3, 5 years, they can refinance and get that rate back down. But the quality of life that they get to enjoy for that 3 to 5 years is more important than.
I wish more people told their clients about their refinancing in a couple of years. You can get a house now. There's no competition. You get it. You can actually maybe even wiggle a little bit with the seller, and then all of a sudden when these rates drop, you have the home. You've had equity. You've been pouring into your home.
Kids have been in the pool for 3 years.
Oh my gosh! And it's funny, Chris. As I'm going to finish this article, it says this is what it says based off what you just said, because I think what you said is accurate and this is completely wrong. It says the people who are still interested in selling, just so you guys know, are in one of these categories. Okay, you're having life changes. Okay, you're either having babies, you died, or you have a divorce, or you just got married. So if you're not in those 4 categories right now, it's this LA Times article saying you're not selling. But yeah, this real estate agent from Redfin, now that I look at this, because you can cut our name out, it sounds like a Redfin comment. Yeah. This is someone who works at Redfin who would say this.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Very Redfin of her.
I think a really popular demographic of sellers right now, I don't know what the numbers say, but in my experience, retirement families are trying for selling. Okay. They're trying to capture, if they think the market's going to decline, they want to capture every bit of that net proceeds they can towards their future, towards their retirement. Many, the only retirement they have is the equity in their home. I'm seeing they're being forced to sell because that's all they have. And, with inflation, and it's scary to them.
Where are they moving?
Out of state. Someplace that's more affordable for them to retire, where their dollar goes further.
Yeah, wow, it's crazy.
I'm seeing it more and more,
and it's the millennials that are moving in.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Can you email Sadie the entire millennial base and let them know that they're slacking right now? Like they
I'll
need
just
to
post
be
it
out.
on my story. We don't read.
Sadie, while you're at it, can you email every seller that's like 65 and older in a 2-level home, possibly on a half acre, that wants to cash out?
That'd be a good one.
We could farm them. They do read.
They do
They're
read.
keeping
And
LA Times alive.
You know what's also awesome about them is they answer their landlines.
They do answer landlines. What's a landline?
Is it the thing with the cord on it?
Yeah, believe it or not.
The rotary thing?
I imagine many of them are still. They're probably like a mellow yellow color too, hanging on the wall.
Wow.
My parents are guilty, but it's funny. They don't have a landline, but if you go to a grocery store or you go to anywhere where it says enter your telephone number, it's their original landline that they put in there, and they get all their points back. So I still know their landline number. They don't have one, but I know that number still.
Oh, yeah. I use that too. Vaughn's Gas Rewards. I'm like,
that's it. The Vaughn's Gas
Thanks everyone
Rewards.
for shopping at Vaughn's. I'm going to redeem.
I love it. So off that LA Times article, I'm going to go through some Redfin, some CNBC, some different articles, Claremont Courier. But the reason I always go to CNBC is because they're a very reputable company or brand. And I'm in the real estate section, and it's talking about how home buyers are backing out of more deals as high mortgage rates persist and recession fears linger. So as you guys are seeing a trend here, there's a trend that you guys are seeing on headlines for real estate. What I'm going to recommend you guys doing, read through the article and do your own research, because like the last article, these are just comedy. But here, this is actually this is a good article. What it talked about, it says home builders cancellation rates have more than doubled since April, according to surveys from John Burns Real Estate Consulting. Nationwide, about 63,000 deals on existing homes fell through in July. I'm going to repeat that again. Nationwide, 63,000 deals of existing homes fell through in July. That's a 16% of homes that went under contract that month.
So, like, they fell out of escrow?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Think of 63,000, Sadie.
That's a lot.
And that's according to Redfin. Cancellations were 12% in 2021, so it's risen 4% since last year. So don't get me wrong, every month over a month there's going to be cancellations, but what it's saying, there's been an increase. But you know what's so funny? The way I read this, it makes it look very drastic. 63,000 deals have been canceled, but it says last year there were. And by the way, that's 16%. Last year's at 12%. You know, like.
It was like
it's not completely, and it actually was 12.5%. So really, it's only 3.5% off from last year. So not much difference. Yeah. So you really have to read through these articles to really understand what it's telling you. But it says here, rising costs and falling confidence in the U.S. economy are fast becoming a toxic cocktail for the housing market. As a result, a growing number of buyers are backing out of deals that they've made with home builders and sellers of existing homes. So it actually brought in new home builders. It says home builders' cancellation rates have more than doubled since April, according to the survey from John Burns Real Estate Consulting. In July, 17.6% of builder contracts fell through compared to 8% in April and 7.5% in July, which is kind of significant. So that means new buyers of new home construction are falling through at a much higher rate than existing homes. Year-over-year change in cancellation for buyers. I don't have this grid to show you guys, but the last time this happened was back in 2020, where there was a cancellation rate of this magnitude. So there are a lot of cancellations right now, and if you look at this graph, it definitely looks a little extreme as opposed to the history. It says Texas and the broader Southwest are seeing the biggest jumps in builder cancellation. 27% and 25% respectively. Many Americans migrated to the Southwest during the early days of the COVID pandemic. Cancellations are also higher now than a national average in Northern California and the Northwest at 23 and 19% respectively. So the reasons for the cancellations are twofold, this article says. Some buyers are no longer qualifying for their mortgages at today's higher rates and therefore cannot close on the homes once they're completed. So that makes sense because you're waiting for the home.
Yep.
Which
is why it would translate to new construction more because of that time they have to wait.
100%. You probably waited 6 months or 8 months or a year depending on the construction.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So you couldn't have locked in your rate when they started building that home, so it doesn't start until like it's done, and then they're like, "Oh, well, sorry."
You lock your rate in on a new home build. I'm almost positive. I built that.
I don't know the answer to that, but I imagine if it took 6 months to purchase a home, could you do a rate lock for 6 months with a bank?
I'll be honest with you. I'm only 39 years old, and I don't have an excuse for a bad memory. But when I bought the new home construction in the colonies, it was a new home build, and I waited, I think, 6 months for the property. But I think I was locked in.
But I think it might have been a different climate too. We didn't.
No, completely different climate. Completely different climate, and I don't know how that worked. But obviously,
we should find that out.
We need like a phone a lender.
This article talks about it. Because it says it. The reason the cancellations are happening is because
rising rates.
So their rates, when they finally kind of locked their rate in, when it was time to get the house ready to get in, the rate they had to take was probably at that current time, which doubled, and they couldn't lock in months prior because the home wasn't built enough in time.
Sure, and it was probably just a pre-qualification process at that time.
That's it. Okay. And then it says number 2, buyers are simply walking away on their own accord, concerned about inflation and potential for home values to drop. I love that one. This can mean giving up pricey deposits, but state laws vary widely on requirements for builders to refund cash deposits. Let me go back to that. Values to drop. So people are backing out of their new construction because they're waiting for the home to drop in value?
I mean, watch our podcast. Look at all the stats.
I'm not seeing homes decline in value right now. Are you guys seeing homes decline in value? I'm not seeing homes decline in value.
No, not at all. Not at all yet. I mean, like I said, the lesser demand, translates to less offers way over asking so far.
Yeah.
From what I'm seeing.
You know what? This is what bothers me. I feel like everybody correlates 2008 to where we're at right now. And the big problem is
he's waiting for that.
They're waiting for that end result, and it's never going to happen because in 2008, nobody could afford a mortgage. In 2008, there was no equity in homes. In 2008, my dog could have bought a house.
I was going to say.
Now, there is a record amount of home sellers who have the record amount of equity in their properties. There is a record amount of low inventory for buyers to still buy property. When you look at the lagging indicators, all it tells me is values will not decline. It's just not going to happen. The market is not going to allow it based on these indicators. But the reason why we're looking at new listings and pending sales and closed down is because I think it's the millennials that don't really understand what's going on right now.
Yeah, that first time buyer, starting this domino effect.
Yeah.
I think maybe.
Yeah, and it's funny. I did this article last year. Last year, I was talking to Tom Ferry. We were on the phone because we were starting this brokerage, and he was talking to me about the millennials. And we're the largest market. We're the largest movement in history, even bigger than the baby boomers, hitting the housing market starting last year. So if you look at that statistic and then you look at where we're at currently, the story makes sense. People are just scared because they don't understand what the market indicators.
They scared of?
Well, the inflation. They're afraid of inflation. They're afraid of 2008.
Afraid of overpaying?
Overpaying. They're afraid of they're going to buy a house right now with a 5% interest rate at $600,000, and in 3 months from now, it's going to be worth $200,000, and interest rates are going to be 2%. And they're going to be like, oh my God, we lost it all. And in all reality, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
Never, guys, it's never going to happen.
I think that people my age, millennials, we don't understand. We were just like, oh, everyone lost their houses. But it's because, and I only know this because I work here and actually learn the facts. Literally, your dog anyone could have gotten whatever money they wanted. They were just giving money out. Like, here you go.
Yeah.
No one was checking to make sure you actually made money, had a job, had any sort of income already in your bank account. It was crazy. Now there's so many, I don't want to say hoops to jump through. If you have the right lender, they help you and you make it through.
Yeah.
But before, it was just money. And then everyone couldn't afford the money because then they were taking out loans up against their mortgage to get more money to buy boats and stuff.
The neg-am too, negative amortized loans,
gave
people the ability to refinance, pull cash out
immediately,
buy everything that they ever dreamed of having.
Buy a boat, buy a couple cars.
And cut their mortgage payment,
exactly,
in half.
And cut their mortgage payment in half.
So it's like, you mean I can have a $100,000 boat and save money on my mortgage at the same time?
It was a nutty time.
Yeah, you couldn't do that today. You could never do something like that today.
Lenders wouldn't even be able to qualify you these days. They're so tight these days. They don't lend money as loosely as they used to, which is another indicator why things are
Banks
not going
lending in a responsible manner. So
yes, they all got in trouble.
Yeah,
and they should have all got in trouble. I'm going to move on because it kind of correlates to what we're talking about. This is a Redfin article.
Here we go.
God, I love Redfin. I love you. So this is their headline. The housing shortage is about to get worse. Don't expect builders to save the day. That's what it says. The housing shortage is about to get worse. Don't expect builders to save the day. I'm not going to lie. I read this stuff and it scares you. How does this stuff not scare you? So it makes sense. Millennials reading this kind of shit, they're going to get nervous Nelly. I would too. I mean, you trust in Realtor.com to give you valid information about what's happening out there. I feel like they're chasing people away.
Well, we talked about it. I'm not necessarily in tune with, these topics and, current events and going over them on this podcast is changing my opinion. And I'm like, wait a minute, I do this for a living and I'm not experiencing what I'm reading.
I know.
So there's a major disconnect between my marketplace and what I'm experiencing daily doing this.
I know.
And what the topics we're covering.
That's why we do it. This is why we made this podcast, because of this.
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of crazy?
Well, I would be scared to buy too.
I'd be scared to buy.
Yeah. People just aren't
all
informed.
this.
And it starts with a big capital red J, and it says, just under a few months ago, builders couldn't push homes up fast enough to appease the hordes of eager buyers. I mean, the way they choose their wording, they boasted about lengthy wait lists, even holding lotteries to choose those lucky enough to purchase the home of newly constructed homes. So it was actually lottery basis. Like you didn't even get to pick a home. They put your name in a hat, and if you were lucky enough to buy one of their new home builds, you got it.
And at whatever price they priced it at.
At
You're just happy to be there.
You were just happy to be in the lottery. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It says now buyers are canceling orders and extracting themselves from wait lists as higher mortgage rates have pushed their dreams of owning new construction beyond their financial reach. Sales are slowing down.
I feel like they're
They
trying
love to
to
use that
force, their narrative almost force
That's it.
the outcome.
That's
That's
the
it.
media.
Like they're driving a recession. They're driving
it.
a change in the
The
real estate market just by their narrative.
It's crazy because I feel like none of this is. I feel like this is so far from the truth.
I don't know who they is, but they need to stop.
I don't even want to know who wrote this article. Says this is from Ali Wolf, chief economist of Zonda, a real estate consultancy. Never heard of Zonda, but it just says we should anticipate fewer homes being built over the next 12 months. Ali says. The new home market is struggling right now. Demand is cooled more than you would imagine this time of year. Ali, I'll be honest with you. It's you donating to these articles that make the market slow down because you're contributing to, in my opinion, false information. I mean, I've got a couple of friends who build new builds over in Rancho, and I hit them up all the time like, hey, how's it going for you guys? They're not telling me what's going on in here. They're just telling me it's healthy. People are still coming. People are still buying.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Buyers are still buying. I've not succeeded in selling a home for my sellers. And
I agree. It says in June there was roughly a 31% decline in new home development. That's giving builders a pause. They don't want to put money down for construction homes if they're not confident that they can sell them. Without a doubt, the first half of 2022 qualifies as a housing recession. I finally got to read it. There it is. Without a doubt, the first half of 2022 qualifies as a housing recession, says Robert Dietz, a chief economist of the National Association of Home Builders. Home building is going to contract. It's kind of a reset. So home building's going to contract. It's kind of a reset. This is Robert Dietz, whatever his name is. I can't pronounce you, Robert. I apologize. But going off stuff like that, you really feel, Robert, that without a doubt the first half of 2022 qualifies as a home housing recession? Let me ask someone who's actually in the residential real estate market. Chris, do you feel the first half of 2022 we were in a housing recession?
I don't. Activity's been strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, my numbers don't reflect that.
Yeah, I know. I don't think no one I know has numbers that reflect that. It's just kind of crazy. I feel like I'm living in the Twilight Zone.
I like the picture they use here on this article with the house.
The house.
Icicles.
Oh, the
falling
frozen
from
house. Like the market's frozen.
They did not joke there. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's hard for me to even go to the next article. This is from Insider, guys. Insider. Now, we got a positive. We have a positive article. Insider,
Wow.
And I don't even like you too much, Insider, but I'm going to give you a little bit of credit right now. This is their headline. Now's a great time to buy a house if you had the money. That's it. Sorry. Now's a great time to buy the house if you had the money before but couldn't compete with the herd.
Yeah.
There it is. What
like
Chris has
those
been
with
saying.
the equity in their home.
Boom. And it says the housing market is finally opening up for buyers with ample cash. While prices still sit at record highs, mortgage rates are down, and demand is fading fast. Home construction is also plunging as contractors brace for a market to slide into a recession. Then it says homes are getting much easier to buy, which is great, as long as you can pony up the cash. Rising mortgage rates, frenzied bidding wars, and wildly insufficient supply hobbled prospective home buyers throughout all of last year, which we all know. Homes frequently sold well above their listing price in all-cash deals that closed mere days after the property went up for sale. Those able to find their dream home immediately face steep uphill battle to beat others to beat the punch. Sounds like last year to me. Sounds like that's what we are into. Sounds like this editor deserves a raise.
Sounds like a real estate agent who actually practices real estate wrote that.
Knows what's going on, because everything that I'm reading is very accurate, and I think it's right on cue. That frantic market is now fading fast. Many of the headwinds that stop buyers from snagging a new home are softening. After nearly 2 years of market fever and fear of the housing bubble, the red hot market is cooling, which I don't think they should put cooling. I think they should use normalizing. Normalizing, like where's the word normalizing in any article that we've read? None.
Yeah.
And while home prices remain high, buyers who can afford to close a deal will likely face fewer headaches that they have recently. You know what? Do they write these articles for all these companies, Insider, Redfin, CNBC, with all this crazy verbiage just to get eyeballs? Like
100%.
they're just
Yeah.
They're not even looking for what's the word I'm looking for? Like credibility. They're just looking for eyeballs.
Well, here's the thing. If you think about Realtor.com writing these articles that are like so clickbaity, like the world's going to end, everything's crashing.
Yeah.
You're going to go onto Realtor.com. They make money for you being on there with their ads. And then I don't know if they have like real estate agents who pay to be a part of their website, or if you're on Redfin, like I'm sure somehow it redirects to like, okay, well, it's horrible right now, but we have the best realtors. Here they are. Like, I feel like it's just an ad for themselves. Let's get people onto our page, and however we can, and then let's redistribute them to make money off them.
I agree.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And so I guess Insider doesn't have as much like the stakes aren't as high because they're not a real estate group. They don't have that bias. But
You're right.
So
You're right. So they're actually just kind of middle of the road, as Redfin is leaning toward one or the other. Makes sense.
Yeah, they're still going to use the verbiage that's a little bit more like juicy because they want you to keep reading. Normalizing sounds boring, but that's the truth. That's what it is. It's normalizing.
And what I don't understand is people still need a place to live. So if they're not buying, what are they doing? Are they continuing to rent?
Well,
so does that mean that there's going to be a flood of, a demand for more rental lease scenario properties? So that's going to drive rent up. So,
which is already happening.
Well,
Rent's crazy.
It's funny you guys are both on this topic because my next article, here's the headline, and this is actually a paper that I read all the time from the Daily Bulletin. Just 36% can afford a Southern California starter home.
Wow.
Think
That's
about that.
more than I thought.
So it says starter home affordability drops, and I have a chart here. Maybe I can give this to Brian. He can put it up for you guys to see on this actual podcast. But it says, survey says, it looks like, the buzz. The typical first-time home buyer in Southern California needs to make an extra $54,000 or 94% more compared to other Americans seeking a starter home. Only 1 in 3 local households meet the qualification standard. My trust source, this is from California Realtors. It says this index estimates what a starter home would cost by tallying the required monthly payments of a residence priced at 85% of the median existing single-family home. This purchase would be financed with a 10% down payment on an adjustable rate mortgage, with property taxes and insurance included. Very interesting. What do you guys think about that? 36% can't afford a new home. And this is my question.
I think they need to find a friend.
It's very true. I also think this, Chris, I think the number's wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't have the data to support this. The only reason I feel like the data is wrong because this is based off a 10% down payment off a residence price, 85% of the median existing home price. I mean, I guess it's not that far off. I mean, you'd have to put 10% down really to make it feel comfortable.
I think millennials should be partnering up. Going in partnership on purchases.
What do you mean? Tell me more about that. What do you mean by that?
Make an investment on an asset for their future together.
Is that like swinging?
Well, it could be for some.
Well, that's a thing. Swinging is a thing. No.
Tell me more about that, Sadie.
No keys are left in the basket at the front door. No.
How do you know that?
I used to live in San Francisco. That's all I'm going to say about that.
That's too good. I'm dying.
But
it's great.
People are doing that. Friends are buying houses together. Like even me, like my boyfriend and I, we're not getting married anytime soon. But we've talked about if we pool our money together, we technically make plenty of money to buy a starter house and flip it. Like we just talked about stuff like that, and it's like paying
down that principal on something.
Yeah, just kind of getting it started and getting it going, and if me and my sister go, you're still on Swingers, aren't you?
I was thinking of a name for this company we should create called Swing.
Yeah.
For young buyers to go up to like get deals with each other.
We
so
only need $500 billion.
Yeah.
Who wants to invest?
Oh, wait, call the guy who's investing in the
Horowitz, yeah.
Mr. Horowitz, where are you?
If you're out there.
We need $500 billion for this new project. It's actually really good if you think about it. It allows different millennials to go into an app, and if they all qualify together, it matches you with people that are in your area that are willing to qualify for a certain price. You four can go together on a $1 million property. One gets the master, the two other get the other rooms, and it all matched you through Swing.
I think that's great. We could be like, we can make commercials like, do you swing? And then it's like an old guy and he's like, I swing. And then everyone swings.
Everyone swings.
And
we
we're
all
all
live
gonna
together.
live in houses.
Because as we go into the future, I feel like that's what housing is going to be more of with less homes in the market and things getting tighter and more people living on top of each other.
It's the same way that you rent. Like
Horowitz,
no one
I'm telling you,
rents
we're
Buy
onto
a
something.
single-family residence. Have a garage. Have a yard. Have a pool.
Wow, I can't even
space
imagine.
for a dog.
It's true. Actually, it gives you some numbers really quickly, just so you guys know. It says the hypothetical first-time buyer, which is good because I wanted to know this, in Southern California needs $111,600 in annual income to qualify for a $3,700 monthly payment required for a $680,000 home. So I'm going to read that one more time for everybody. The hypothetical first-time buyer in Southern California needs $111,600 in annual income to qualify for a $3,700 monthly payment required for a $680,000 residence. And this math says just 36% of the region's household could qualify to buy a starter home in spring of 2022, down significantly from 43% in the earlier year. So very interesting.
2 or 3 of them got together.
Easily.
I mean,
Swing.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Seriously, Sadie, this is it.
I had to throw that in there.
It's so true.
Yeah.
Wow.
But what's rent in comparison?
Well, everybody knows rent's going up
It's through the roof.
drastically every single year. They're taking advantage.
We were at a broker's open today, and the garage conversion was $2,400 a month.
That?
Hey, and think about this. Think about this for Swing. Think about this. No joke. In Southern California, homes are appreciating at 8.5% on an annual rate. So you get 3 people together who can't afford to buy a home, and then all of a sudden they go together. They've gained close to 9% just on the annual rate. That's good. That's a good investment.
I'm not throwing money at nothing, like rent.
Oh my God. And then it says the average adjustable loan rates had risen by 4.3 from 2.6. So, I mean, this is not a terrible. We just created like an idea on this podcast, but it's not a
copyright.
Wow.
I love that about this, though.
Some great ideas.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this is very, very interesting. It gives you more about this, like Orange County, Riverside, Los Angeles, the different incomes required, which I'm actually going to post here because it's actually good for everybody. San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange County, Los Angeles, San Diego, Ventura. It says bottom line. Let's get to the bottom line of this article. Call this income gap the price of paradise or the... Yeah, that's right. It says, call this income gap the price of paradise or financially taxing result of various troublesome housing policies. Doesn't make any sense. The first time timer must also compete with investors. They'll often have to pay I can offer
anymore.
Yeah, right. That's where a buyer needs $200,000 of income for. What is that? Oh, this is the Bay Area. Oh my God! You guys ready for this before I go to the next topic?
Oh,
Where
no.
rent's really affordable.
First time in Southern California versus looking in the Bay Area. Bay Area, you need $200,000 income for a $7,000 payment on a $1.3 million residence.
Because that's the median there. That's the problem.
That's why there's a tech industry up there. You have to be in the tech to even make it.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, as we wind down, I really do enjoy sitting with you guys and going over all the national and local headlines of real estate, trying to help you, our sellers and our buyers, our friends, our family, anyone watching this, to really give you guys a true understanding of what's happening in the market. You know, we're breaking these articles down and trying to help you guys get clarity with all this craziness going on in this market. So you guys, thanks for coming on. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
I love it. Best part of the week.
Best part of the week by far.
Yeah.
And you guys know how we always close because this is only our second episode. So if you don't always know, you're going to start to know. Some local topics I want to talk to you guys about. Really quickly, you guys know there's a Shake Shack going in Victoria Gardens.
Shut up.
Yeah. You like Shake Shack?
I've never had one.
Okay.
Say bye-bye to your diet.
My wife loves Shake Shack, Chris. Like, she's obsessed with it. I'm not a Shake Shack fan, so.
Really?
But it's huge. It's huge. People are.
So what is it? It's just a shake?
It's a burger. It's a burger.
Oh, it's a burger.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a pressed patty?
What's a press patty?
Like In-N-Out, like it's like a it's like
It's
the
not as good.
In-N-Out
It's
for, like,
not
the
as good
East
as In-N-Out.
Coast.
Look it up.
It is. It's like In-N-Out for the East Coast, but
Yeah.
it came to the West Coast. So yeah, it's coming. It says September 29th, something like that. Shake Shack, Victoria Gardens. Oh, it doesn't give me a date, but so you guys know. And then also, I didn't know this either.
Yep.
What? You're looking at it?
Yep, it's a pressed patty.
It's a press patty.
Say it like it's a bad thing.
I love it.
Oh, it's delicious.
Oh, it's so good.
Is it?
I don't know. I'm
Maybe
hungry.
not.
We're on a diet right now, so
Yeah,
it's like
everything
anything
looks
looks
good.
good.
Right? I should have. I'm glad I brought food into this
Yeah.
scenario today.
Now we're gonna go eat a bunch of barbecue in
You-
Dallas next week. Help
Oh
me.
my gosh, Dallas and barbecue in Dallas is gonna be
I
so
can't
much
wait.
fun.
Tom Ferry, here we come.
Oh, Tom, we're on it. We're coming for you, brother. Shake Shack water leak in Upland. I was gonna talk to you guys about. It was this weird water leak, but we're not the news, so there's no reason I'm bringing that up. But there's one more thing I wanted to talk with you guys about before I got out of here, and I can't actually. Oh, here it is. Some events that I wanted to kind of discuss with everybody coming up throughout Claremont. So August 22nd, just so you guys know, it's Monday night concerts in the park. The 23rd is not for you. It's a city council meeting. Every Monday is a Monday night concert in the park.
I think until like mid-September when school starts.
Mid-September?
Right? Yeah, I think so.
I was trying to
That was like a
show.
summer thing.
Is that what it
It's
was?
still happening. I think we got a couple more. They're fun.
What are concerts in the park?
Heck yeah. Bring some cards. Bring a pizza.
That looks like a pressed patty to me. What about you?
Oh, you're still on
He's
this.
still on it. I love
Yeah,
it.
you know what it looks like?
Chris.
It looks fucking delicious. Is what it looks
when,
like.
Yeah, when they press
Cheese
it out on
and
the flat
bacon,
top.
it's all
And it just,
Mm.
yeah, sears it.
We're also a commercial. If Shake Shack wants to sponsor us
Shake Shack. We only need 500 billion for
We just need for our new
for Swing, very
For
family
Swing.
friendly, like your restaurant is. Fine.
I love it.
All right, it's concerts in the park. Those are fun.
That's fun. What day is the City Walk or
Oh, Village Venture.
Village Venture. So if you guys don't go to the Village Venture, we're gonna have a booth down there. So I'm gonna recommend you guys all come into the Village Venture. We're gonna have a photo booth. We're gonna have a 360 photo booth. So 2 separate photo booths, and then we're gonna have some goodies and treats
Yeah.
we're gonna give you
Lots of fun
guys.
giveaways.
So come to our booth if you guys are watching the end of this podcast. Village Venture next month. But for everybody
we should
else,
raffle something amazing off.
your motorhome.
No.
A free year membership to Swing.
My family would leave me.
What do we? It's not a bad idea. What do we raffle off? That would be actually really good.
No, let's brainstorm. Let's talk about
Nothing
that next
stupid.
episode.
Not like a TV or anything
no,
like,
like
that.
super
Like
rad valuable. Like maybe
a
like
trip.
or like something towards like their listing.
Yeah, but that could be illegal with RESPA and stuff like that.
Really? Okay.
I'm thinking like why not a trip, Cabo or something like that.
What? I'm putting my card in there.
But it'll get
I'm
everyone.
hijacking
It would
this.
get everyone to be involved, right? If it's that cool and people, it's gonna get that much attraction to it.
Yeah, TBD.
Yeah,
TBD. Don't quote us
TBD.
on Cabo
Let's
yet.
talk more about that.
Yeah, we'll talk
Let's
more
have
about
something
that.
else
But there's
to
gonna
talk
be
about.
there's gonna be cool. There's gonna be swag too.
Leave some comments below of what you guys feel would be a really good giveaway gift and what you guys would feel you guys would want.
Yeah.
That's how we know you watched this episode, by the way. So if you see any comments of things that you guys want, we'll actually really take it into account because you watched this today. So, anyways,
And we should ask for their opinion on what kind of questions they have.
yeah, like what type of questions?
Yeah, ask us all your questions so we can get them answered for you.
You guys,
We wanna
there you
bring a
go.
Service, so-
Ask some questions below. I'm gonna have Chris personally answering these for you guys next week when this is aired. So you guys will be able to talk to the man himself, and he'll be responding to all those inquiries that you guys have. So you're on for this, Chris.
Perfect.
I love it. All right. Well, I think we should wrap this up right now. Another episode of Real Estate and Shit. I hope you guys enjoyed the content and the content coming at you. I think I just said that twice, but I hope you guys did enjoy it. We put a lot of time into making it good for you guys. And for everybody else, we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy your week, guys. Cheers.
See ya.
Bye, guys.
Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the